This is a website critique for Yana Allpart's dog training business called Canine Guide Dog Training, canineguidedogtraining.com. And Yana reached out to me and asked if I can give her some advice or do a little website critique to help her website convert traffic better. Traffic meaning desperate dog owners arriving at her website to make the whole experience a little bit easier for them to contact her and more likely to contact her. So my premise is this. My premise is that if you can go from getting 1 out of 10 people who land on your website to pick up the phone and call you or fill out your contact form if it's in the middle of the night and make some changes to your website, and then suddenly you're getting 1 out of 5 instead of 1 out of 10 people, you've literally just doubled your revenue without spending any more money. And for some of you, it could be the difference between being a success in the dog training industry or not. So I'm going to go through some of this briefly. What I would recommend is if you've got a dog training website yourself, check out my YouTube channel called Katz on Marketing, K-A-T-Z, Katz on Marketing. We've done these website critiques for probably about a dozen, maybe more than a dozen dog trainers, and you'll start seeing some patterns. You'll start seeing everybody's kind of making the same mistakes with their website. So check that out. We are in the process of rebranding, so the name might change. If you haven't visited the Dog Trainer Marketing Group on Facebook, it's free to join. You'll be amongst over, I think, 2,800 other professional dog training business owners at this point, swapping secrets and strategies, and you can find a link to the YouTube channel there or just ask. Getting into it. So what's going on with this website? This area that you're seeing here is called the above the fold area. And in my opinion, it fails. I'm going to explain why. What I want you to do, I've been thinking about how to explain to you dog trainers how to basically write effective copy. Copy is the persuasive text that you put on your website. I want you to imagine that I lined you up, you and let's say 4 or 5 other dog trainers in your city. And I lined all of you up against a wall. And I said, I'm going to go one to the next. And you only have one sentence to convince me to work with you. What would that sentence be? Because that's what this is, this above the fold area, right? One sentence. Would that sentence be Metro Detroit's premier dog training? Guaranteed off-leash freedom? Would that be the one sentence you tell me? Because I can guarantee you, because I know this industry, probably the 4 or 5 other dog trainers standing right next to you, they're all going to say the same thing. They're going to say, we're the best. We're the premier dog training place in Detroit. They're going to say, we're number one. We're elite, right? And all of those are meaningless. It doesn't convince anybody of anything. So that is a big problem. And I want you to think about what that one sentence would be. If you only had one sentence and you had to feed your family, what would that one sentence be to convince a dog owner to work with you and not to work with anybody else standing next to you? Probably it's going to be a benefit-oriented sentence. It's going to be around them and not about you. It's going to be something that makes them feel that they, can work with you and you're going to deliver the results. You're going to be speaking to them. So something like, we can get your dog to listen to you anywhere you go, even around other dogs, cats, food, or even tennis balls, right? That's a pretty convincing sentence. Metro Detroit's premier dog training. I just don't believe you. There's nothing on this website up here to convince me to call you. So that number one. The other big problem, and I'm going to just kind of scroll down here. The big problem that you've got with this website is I think there's a tendency to look at other people's websites that have many pages and say, okay, I've got to have hundreds of different pages. And you really don't. In fact, we've got many clients with just a one-page website, and they do great if you have the right words and the right images on the website. Now that comes to the second point I wanted to touch on, is that you do not have a clear offer on this website. In fact, right up here, there's not even a phone number right here, which normally, most websites, you want to make it really easy for people to call you. In fact, you don't want them spending all this time on your website. Like, you've got separate pages for each of these, and they got to read through all this stuff. And you've got there's nothing wrong with a lot of copy if it's done right. But generally speaking, here's the thing. You want to, when they land on your website, because you're paying good money to bring them to your website, you want to get them off the internet and on the phone with you as fast as you can. Because the longer they're on the internet, the greater the chances that they're going to get distracted and end up on Facebook or some social media, Instagram, who knows what, or their wife or their husband's going to call them and say dinner's ready, and they're going to close their laptop and go have dinner and then forget all about you and start their search over when they get back in a couple hours. So your job is to really get them, tickle them enough that they want to pick up the phone and call you, and get them off the website, off the internet as fast as you can. So keep that in mind. Now, the big problem though is that you haven't given me any reason to call you. So you've got all the offerings here. You've got Canine Guide, the Canine Guide difference. And I know you know this already, but the name of your company is Canine Guide Dog Training, and you don't offer guide dog training. So right there, I would strongly consider a rebrand. I think right off the bat, it's very confusing to people when they land on this website. Like, are you doing guide dog training or what's up? So that may be kind of confusing people. Anything on here like this, the latest news, these articles, anything that interferes with the sales process has got to go. There shouldn't be anything on here if it's not working to immediately get them off the website and on the phone. You need to get rid of it. Now you've got blog posts. That's fine here, but I would put those posts on a on a sub page. Get rid of that. I mean, what you've got up here is fine, but there's no call to action. There's no reason. There's no offer. Now, let me show you what I mean. Let's head over to Randy's website here. Now, this is, a simple enough design site. I mean, you could, if you had some basic web skills, you could probably design a website like this, similar to this. But what's important is what's on here. Right off the bat, smacks you right in the face. Call with the phone number. I don't have to hunt for it. I don't have to look for it. With your website, I've got to scroll down here. I got to get through all this. Before you, here's a button, call today. Is it a button? And I click it. Whoa, what just happened there? I don't even know. It took me over to Skype. So right there, you've lost the sale right there. And it just closed my website. You completely lost me. I mean, that's a major, major flub. And there's not even a phone number on here to write down. So that's got to be fixed. Let's look over here again at Randy's. What we've done here is right at the top, limited time offer, book a free consultation, evaluation, and temperament test for your dog, an $89 value. I don't have to hunt for it. I don't have to look for it. His offer is right here. Now, don't confuse the offer with your dog training program. What we're selling with our website is we're selling them on the idea of picking up the phone and calling. Or if it's in the middle of the night, and you're not answering your phones in the middle of the night, then get them to fill out the contact form so that you can call them back first thing in the morning. You've got to make it what I call drunk simple. Somebody's drunk, they're not thinking straight, they're emotional, their dog just bit somebody, whatever it is. You've got to make it really, really easy for them to be able to reach out and contact you. And you'll see when you look through this site, he's got the number here. He's got the number here. He's got the phone number here. He's got the phone number here. He's got the phone number just in case you missed it. It's peppered throughout the homepage of the website. So it's really, really easy to figure out how to contact Randy. And he's got a contact form here. Most importantly, though, call Smart Dog School for a free consultation, evaluation, and temperament test today with this phone number right here. So even if you don't click to call, you could just dial. Like, I'm an old school guy. I just want to dial the phone number. So it's really easy. I mean, look how many times, and you might think that's like completely overkill, but it's not. I've tested this. The more times you ask them to call, and you got to give them a good reason, which is call now for a free consultation, evaluation, and temperament test. You got to give them a good reason to call. But you pepper this throughout your homepage because they'll miss it. It's a weird thing. Sometimes if they don't see it here, they look for it. You got to make it super, super obvious. Cincinnati and North Kentucky dog trainer guarantees He can get your dog to listen to you. A perfectly behaved dog starts with just one call. He's literally telling them what to do. This is perfect. What you've got over here, it's just really confusing. The last trainer, by the way, anytime you mention trainer or training, you want to put the word dog in front of it, dog training, because that'll actually help with your organic SEO. You've got testimonials, which is great, but we're in the type of business, the dog business, where everybody loves looking at pictures of dogs. So what you want to do with this is you want to have a picture, and you can get it off their Facebook page. If they've given you the testimonial, they're not going to care. Get a picture of the owner with the dog, because that enhances credibility. And then you want to also put the city and the state that they're in, so people don't feel like you're just making stuff up here. When I look at this, I mean, I don't know if these are real people or not, because we don't have a picture. And again, everybody loves looking at pictures of dogs. So this is actually something you are doing really well. You've got your credentials here. You've got the what we call trust elements. So that's actually a really good thing. Ditch this. This is not helping at all with your sales process. Again, the sales process is selling them on calling you. It's not selling them the dog training through your website. It is a million times easier to sell somebody face-to-face than it is over the phone. And it's a million times easier to sell somebody over the phone than it is in print. So you don't want to try and be selling them on a bunch of different stuff like your different programs. Again, all of this could be just a one-page website. It's fine to have a 5 or a 6-page website, but it has to be done, intelligently. It has to really make sense. So like when we go over here, it says about canine guide dog training. That's okay, I guess. But then we've got our headline. Welcome to the canine guide dog training family. I'm not part of your family, and I don't know, like this isn't doing anything. It's not communicating anything. Let's maybe go over here. Let's look what Randy's got here on his site. And what you see right at the top, it slaps you in the face. Every dog is different. You need to get inside the dog's mind and discover what motivates him or her to respect you, to respond to you, to bond you in a healthy way, and want to please you. Okay, so that's kind of like almost like a headline here. It pulls you into this. You want to read a little bit more, because here's a nice picture of Randy with his friendly little pit bull. And then it goes into selling. Randy works magic with dogs. His approach is fast, fun, and helps you to develop a balanced relationship. And then it addresses some of the issues they might be getting into. If so, we can help. Got a family dog. This is all sales pitch, getting them to call you. We've got a couple of testimonials, again, with the picture of the owner with the dog and the first and the last name. So it's not like Paula M, because if you put Paula M, people are going to think you're making it up. And then look, she's in Lexington, Kentucky. She lives near me. She's a real person. Northern Kentucky, Roseanne Sutter, real. And then you've got down here with the call to action with a reason. So much better done, in my opinion, than this. You've got about blah, blah, blah. Again, let's click on this. Okay, so that time it took me to choose an appointment. Okay, what if I'm not ready to make an appointment? What if I just want to talk to somebody to find out if you're the right dog trainer for me? What if I want to find out, like, are you a guide dog trainer, or do you, deal with pet dogs? Because remember, when I call you, I'm drunk and I'm probably not reading through all of this. Now, another thing, while I'm here, you've got this big questionnaire, and this is like you're asking me for marriage before we've even gone out on a first date. Every additional field here that you ask reduces your response. So what I want you to do is I want you to change this. Just ask for their name, their email, and their phone number. That's it. And your response just right there is going to go up pretty dramatically. Also, when you put your phone number, tell them, call now. And even better, again, look at what we've got here. Give them a reason. Call now for your free consultation, evaluation, and temperament test. Let's go back to the home page here. Again, this area above the fold is so important, because if you don't get this right, they're not going to scroll down farther to read what else is there. So you need a clear offer. You really don't even need separate pages to explain all of this because the website shouldn't be educating. It should only be tickling them enough to get on the phone with you, and find out more so that you can sell them. Because again, you can sell them much easier than your website can. These both go to the same place apparently. Let's see what this one does. Contact us. Whatever your dog training needs, Canine Guide has you covered. So this is empty. It's not really saying anything. Obedience training, behavior modification, off-leash freedom. So let me talk a little bit about features versus benefits. Features are, this steakhouse says we offer a 12-ounce filet mignon. That's the feature. Okay, your features are you offer obedience training, behavior modification, off-leash freedom. The benefit is that as soon as you take a bite of this steak, you're going to have an orgasm in your mouth. The main thing is that you need to have a very, very clear offer. And the offer is something like, limited time offer, free consultation, evaluation, and temperament test, an $89 value. If you call now, it's free, right? That's the implied benefit. The implied, it's not just saying, we're going to give you a consultation. We're going to give you something of value, which right here is the benefit. Again, all of this stuff really doesn't say anything. Educating clients and helping them achieve long-term and off-leash success is what we do at Canine Guide Dog Training. So what? So what? Everybody says that. It's empty. Something else like your dog off-leash reliable in 14 days or less. That's actually saying something. That's actually persuasive. Now, it may be that everybody that then picks up the phone and calls you and inquires about it, there are qualifiers. That's okay because we're painting a picture here just to get them to call. And it may be that, you've got a Rottweiler that's bitten 3 kids. This dog will never be off leash and certainly is not going to be off leash in 14 days. But I don't feel comfortable saying that this dog should ever be off leash. That's okay. Nobody's going to be like, well, you advertised this on your website, and then when I called you, you said you can't. No, it's what a reasonable person would assume can be done. So you've got some things here make bad behavior problems a thing of the past with just one call. That's good. That's actually a really good benefit-oriented headline. I don't understand why you don't have that right up here at the top. I mean, that's a great piece of copy. Make bad behavior problems a thing of the past with just one call. That's your lead, and you've completely buried your lead. So give some thought to this. Please watch the other website critiques because some of them go on for 20 to 30 minutes. I don't want this one to be that long, but I do want to steer you in the right direction so that you can start getting better response from the people who land on your website. Because again, if we can go from 1 out of 10 calling you to 1 out of 5, just by tweaking some things and using some copy and a clear offer and benefit-oriented headlines to get them to pick up the phone, you're going to be cooking with gas.